In this video, we are going to talk about lab one, which is about measurements. If you go to D12 on contents and then unit one, and then if you scroll it down, you will get lab one measurement, which is here. There is instructions here, and after that, there is a clickable link. If you click on it, it directs you to Google Docs lab one, which is about measurement. I already opened it here. So if you click on it, there's a new tab will be open for you, and you can see lab one. Um, this Google Docs is the access you have to this Google Docs is as a viewer. So you are a viewer here, but you can make a copy of this. Then that will be your own Google Docs that you have in your own Google Drive. There is a part you are going to put your name here. So please read this part carefully and then type your name here. There's introduction about this lab, what we are going to do in this lab, what is or what are objectives of this lab, and then there are some explanation of what you need to do during this lab. Then it will go to procedure. So we are going to read procedures first, and then criteria for a successful lab report also is down here. So before start working on the lab, please just read all the procedures and then all the criteria for a successful lab report. And then you can go and start from the first one. So the first one, the first number one in procedures says read this document and before start the lab. And then the second part, it will be a lab report template and a lab report formatting guidelines that you need to follow when you want to submit your labs. So as you can see, these are clickable. If you click on them, they will be open for you. There is a lab formatting guideline and it shows you how to work with like template, writing the introduction, and then procedure and questions and conclusions at the end and submitting your work. So as you can see, it tells you what part you need to have in your lab templates. It starts with introduction, and these are what you need to include. Procedures and questions, you are going to include them in this part and then writing a conclusion. And you can see what to include in that part. And then another file is lab report template. So you can see this is like the main form of the lab report you need to have at the end. So you have the name, your name here, the name of the lab, like the title of lab here, the date, the class, and then introduction is going to be here. And then the procedure part is going to be in different parts. Depends on the lab. Sometimes we have only one part. Sometimes we have more than one parts. And you're going to just have procedure here and at the end conclusion. So this is the format of a lab report you need to submit. At the end, you are going to have something like this as a Google Docs, and then you can download it as a PDF file and then submit that to the D2L. So this is a lab report formatting guideline and the lab template. Then you have access to them here in second part of procedure in the lab file. If you go to number three, you can see there are some lessons. When you click on this parts, you will see another tab will be open. That is a lesson lab part. So this part is just for reading. You are going to read this part and just see like the explanation about like in this lab we are talking about measurements. So you can just read about measurements, about accuracy and precision. There are some links here. Sometimes you can click on them and it directs you to another information. You can read them. Using vernier calibers as an example here. And you are going to read all these things and also significant figures. These are just all explanations. There is nothing to do in this part. These are just some information you need to study before working on the lab. Like talking about the rules of significant figures, some of them already was covered in lecture. But here we have a review of them, and if there are some more things needed for the lab, they are going to be provided here. Volume formulas, there are some here. And so like if you want to find the volume of a cylinder, a cuboid or a prism, all of them are going to be here provided. And then density calculation example, like if we have a coin, we want to calculate the density. So there are all lessons you can see here. And at the end, you will go back to here and then you will go to part 4. You will measuring the outside dimensions and mass of a coin of your choice. So this is what you need to do. Like you're going to choose a coin and do measurements on the coin. You can use a tape or measuring any measuring instrument. If you have vernier caliber, you can use that. If not, you can use a tape or even a ruler. And then what you are going to do is just record your raw data values in this shared Google spreadsheet. So if you click on it, it will give you access to that spreadsheet and it will be just something like this here. The first line, there's an example. You can see like you are going to type your measuring instruments, the object you are choosing, like the type of coin you are choosing in this slab, and diameter of that you are going to measure in inches, the thickness of that, and the mass of that. In order to find the mass, if you have access to scale, you can use the scale. If not, you can just search the type of coin you are using in the Google and find the mass of that and type it here. And then you are going to, from this diameter, you can calculate the radius and then convert it to centimeters here, and then find the area, and then convert the thickness to centimeters, and then find the volume. And at the end, use the formula for density, which is mass divided by volume, to find the density of the coin that you chose in gram per cubic centimeters. I'm going to put the names of students here, so you will find your name and you are going to do all measurements in front of your own name. This file you have access to, so you can just make any measurements directly to this file. So all of you are going to make measurements here. And in next lab, we are going to use these measurements and we use them as a data set to calculate some statistical properties. So the first step is just making all measurements here. And then when you want to do lab report, you need to have this part. So taking a screenshot of here and put that to your lab report in the procedure part, you can use that. And at the end, you will see criteria for a successful lab report. Again, you can see lab template and lab report format guidelines that just you'll have access up here also. And then also lab 1 measurements that you need to follow and all these things that we already just talked about. So all of them are going to be here. Criteria for a successful lab report. You can just check them before starting the lab. And then for lab report, you are going to just follow the procedures. So you are going to say like the introduction, and then for the procedure part, you are going to just explain what you did, what measurements you did, like what was the measuring instrument you used, and then just make a screenshot of that spreadsheet and put that to your procedure part. And then what did you get, what you got for your density and all those stuff. And at the end, what you need to do is just going to coursework here and then click on assignments. And then for each lab, you are going to submit, as an example, lab 1 measurements. You are going to submit your lab here, which should be a PDF file.